Charlie's wasn't random. It was scheduled.
He set it up in a way that, like, okay, you're saying something that's actually factually inaccurate,
right,
according to the narrative. Now, let's be real clear. I don't necessarily think they know what's going on yet. There's a lot of weird shit going on with this.
I know.
Swirly.
I almost texted you when the Charlie Kirk thing happened because my antennas went up about, they showed the photo of that kid, or the guy that they have, the 22-year-old,
yeah,
whatever. And I was almost going to be like, dude.
This kid had a rifle with a scope. Now, here's where it gets weird. The first images of this rifle with a scope, I swear to God, it looks like he has a composite stock on it. Like, it looks like a modern 30-06 rifle. There was that one guy who was the decoy. All right, so you got this guy who's an older guy who starts yelling out. Didn't he take his pants down? He took his pants down. This guy was at 9/11. He was at the Boston bombings.
All the hits.
He called in a fake bomb at another place. And then he did this at this thing. Right after, so somehow or another, this guy has the state of mind that the moment someone gets shot, he yells out and says, I did it, and takes his pants down or something like that. I don't know exactly what he did. Then, ready for this? He gets arrested for child porn right away.
Right after this happened?
Oh, right away. He's in jail for child porn. Why is that? Well,
the internet erupted like pyrotechnics after Elon Musk and Joe Rogan released something so outrageous, nobody anticipated that Charlie Kirk's widow would abruptly enter the discussion. Of all the people to delve into the subject, and the way they handled it was simply unbelievable. It began when Rogan disclosed that he had been discreetly monitoring Charlie's enigmatic case for a considerable amount of time during one of his most recent podcast episodes. He claimed that there were simply too many strange aspects and inconsistencies that bothered him. Then came Elon Musk, who unintentionally appeared in a segment of that same show, and everyone was stunned by his response. The truth cannot be hidden forever, he wrote on social media. It only required that one sentence. The internet took off in a matter of hours. Millions of people watched the video again, focusing on each glance, pause, and minor detailed communication between two of the most influential guys in media and technology. Why would they even bring up a matter that most people assumed had been resolved long ago? While some believed it was just a coincidence, others were certain it was a covert communication. A subliminal way of expressing something more profound, whether deliberate or not. That little Rogan and Musk's conversation was sufficient to transform a fading rumor into a national obsession. And as the video went viral, it rekindled all the long-forgotten rumors. All of a sudden, the identical question was being asked. Is the true tale just getting started? In a matter of hours, TikTok, Reddit, YouTube Shorts, and X were all overflowing.
Whenever the authority says something and not prod any further. We can't allow that to happen here. I won't allow that to happen here because this something terrible has traumatized the world, okay? And I feel as though when it comes to this, the media, the government, the talking heads, everyone is confusing us about what actually
flowing with Rogan's words, like detectives. Viewers analyzed every second of the video to see if Rogan knew anything that the rest of the world didn't. And just when things were at their most bizarre, Elon did his traditional silent move. Just a few subdued likes on Candace Owens' comments. Challenging the official narrative surrounding Charlie's case, no words, post, or statement. Social media was in complete disarray as a result of just one simple gesture. People were certain that something significant was about to happen. The hashtags associated with Charlie's widow, Candace Rogan. And Musk began to trend on all platforms and in every nation. Overnight, the internet became a massive detective board. People believed that Elon and Joe, two powerful guys, knew something that the rest of the world was not supposed to know, depending on your point of view. Their silence only made things worse or better because the mystery only grew more complex with each mysterious response. Wild hypotheses soon began to appear like mushrooms following a storm. While some claimed Elon and Rogan were merely testing the media and playing a psychological game to see how quickly the audience would descend into pandemonium, others insisted they were hinting at a covert operation. The timing was too perfect to be coincidental, whatever it was. It seemed deliberate, like a trigger just waiting to be pushed. A few days later, Candace Owens fueled the fire with gasoline. She sent a mysterious message claiming to have discovered something significant in her private notes that she was still unable to disclose. Every aspect of social media went into overdrive after that one sentence. Abruptly, people began making connections that might not have existed at all. There were separate podcasts, Reddit detectives, YouTube sleuths, and Twitter threads all claiming to have found it out. Some claimed Candace had evidence of a covert agreement between influential insiders. Others said Elon and Rogan were intentionally stirring things up in the hopes that the public would discover the truth on its own. Even the mainstream media, which typically pretends not to notice these things, started discussing it in passing. The internet is going crazy about Musk and Rogan's exchange, according to headlines. But why? And that only stoked further interest. The denials were ineffective. Either way, every effort to minimize the drama just increased people's mistrust. In a matter of hours, old quotes reappeared, videos were slowed down, and people were connecting the links as if they were uncovering a national secret. Musk's shortest tweet was interpreted as secret code, and Rogan's fleeting glance, which turned into a statement unto itself. Each and every frame was examined for hints. Like digital detectives, viewers slowed down, zoomed in, and compared timestamps. Before long, the internet was dominated by a single pressing query. Is the truth coming to light at last? Or are we all involved in a large-scale social experiment? Because everyone was certain of one thing. The more reticent, strong individuals bevove, the more the public becomes fixated on finding out what they might be concealing. This time, nothing could halt the inadvertent chain reaction that Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, Candace Owens, and Charlie Kirk's widow had started. The globe was engulfed in a maelstrom of inquiries, theories, and restless conjecture due to their combination of mystery, quiet, and cryptic clues. However, what was most unsettling was not what they said, but rather what they didn't say. The internet can occasionally be more shaken by quiet than by 1,000 words, especially when it happens at the right time. People are still fixated on every post, video, and fleeting glimpse because they are looking for clues that the truth may at last be emerging. Then, when it was unable, Toit did not get any stranger. Fans discovered what they had seen in the viral video was simply the tip of the iceberg. When Joe Rogan's whole podcast episode was eventually released, the actual substance is far more complex and disturbing. Charlie Kirk wasn't just lightly name-roped by Rogan. He wondered about everything. Like a guy balancing on a tightrope, his tone was composed but deliberate. He began by saying, "There are too many things that don't line up," before listing a number of contradictions that sounded like scenes from an investigative thriller. He highlighted temporal gaps in the official timetable that defied logic, called attention to an odd photo of the suspected perpetrator, and questioned the technology employed. Then came the line that made everyone in the audience shudder. No one would believe this if it were a movie. He didn't sound irate. It was calm, perceptive, and uncannily contemplative. It was palpable. Rogan was aware that he was prodding something delicate and more significant than himself. But when he stated, "I almost texted someone when it happened," the internet went crazy. That one statement quickly became the new preoccupation. Millions of people slowed down, rewound, and paused the video in an attempt to identify that person. Was it Candace, Elon, or someone with a direct connection to the enigmatic circumstance? The guessing game became a full-fledged chouse. Every moment of Rogan's podcast was examined like a crime scene. When his tone softened, his eyes moved, or a pause seemed a bit too lengthy, viewers dissected every shot. All of a sudden, the internet community began to claim that Rogan was more than just a host. In some way, he had joined the mystery itself. According to some media analysts, he was even employing what they called the pretending effect, which involves giving away just enough information so that others might begin making their own connections. Rogan's most ardent supporters, however, were certain he knew far more than he was disclosing. The relationships between Rogan, Musk, Candace Owens, and Charlie Kirk's widow began to be mapped out in lengthy Reddit threads, viral TikToks, and in-depth exposts, timestamps, historical tweets. and excerpts from podcasts were arranged and woven together into what appeared to be a concealed stories blueprint. Public opinion soon started to change quickly. Instead of being perceived as an inquisitive bystander, Rogan began to be seen as a symbol of defiance. A man who hinted at realities that others were too afraid to express. The great question continued to reverberate. Did he unintentionally reveal something odd? Or did he purposefully leave breadcrumbs for the world to follow? As always, silence speaks louder than words when Rogan ventures into Forbidden Zone. There was a long, heavy pause as the program came to a conclusion. There's stillness, no fade out, no music. Millions of spectators sat still, staring at their displays, certain that beneath that peaceful conclusion was something more. Online, the atmosphere was electrifying. It seemed more than coincidental, like a cautionary tale masquerading as introspection. And in typical Elon fashion, Elon Musk made his move just when everyone names, locations, or direct references. Nevertheless, I want to be very clear that I believe, in fact, I know that towards the end, Charlie was fighting for custody of himself. The timing of Elon Musk's cryptic tweets coincided almost exactly with the moment Joe Rogan mentioned Charlie Kirk's widow on his podcast. And that's when the theories exploded. Some thought Elon was subtly implying he knew more than the public could ever imagine, while others were convinced it was one of his well-known social experiments testing how quickly information could spread and mutate in real time. Whether it was by accident or pure design, the timing was too perfect to ignore. Within hours, Reddit was filled with enormous timelines that matched the precise moments Rogan spoke to when Elon tweeted down to the second. And thousands of videos appeared on TikTok attempting to decipher the now famous statement. Silence speaks volumes. It appeared as though two of the most powerful voices in the world were exchanging coded messages, and the entire internet was attempting to decipher the language. Before anyone could agree on a single explanation, Candace Owens plunged into the chaos like a thunderstorm. In typical Candace fashion, she didn't tiptoe in. Instead, she made it dramatic. Everyone had their own theory, ranging from secret government deals to personal secrets. And some even connected it to Elon's earlier interviews. It's about truth being stranger than fiction. It's all happening just like I said. That was it. No details, no proof, just tension so thick you could feel it through the screen. Within minutes, her name was trending everywhere again. The domino effect was complete. Rogan started it, Elon pushed it further, and Candace set it on fire. 3 names, 3 voices, and millions of users spinning theories faster than they could refresh their feeds. People became obsessed with finding the hidden thread, connecting them all. Convinced there was a bigger story lurking behind the scenes that someone in a position of authority didn't want exposed. Then Candace made it worse or better, depending on who you ask, with a single post that sent social media into complete meltdown. Finally, people understand what I've been saying for months. No hashtags, no tags, no context, just that. Within minutes, platforms exploded once more, and fans started bringing up her old clips in which she had questioned the inconsistencies in the Charlie Kirk case, the strange timeline, the abrupt appearances, and the odd gaps in the official reports she had previously flagged. It was chaos wrapped in mystery, and the world couldn't look away. A few hours later, Candace Owens appeared live on camera for more than an hour. Her tone was heavy, almost deliberate, and every word she said felt loaded. Like she was walking a fine line between truth and danger. Then, in the middle of the stream, she said something that made everyone stop breathing. Charlie wrote private messages about his wife, and the media never dared to mention them. At that moment, the internet erupted, with hundreds of thousands of people flooding her live stream chat, demanding screenshots, and spamming the comments with the words, "Show us." But Candace didn't flinch. She simply smiled, leaned forward, and said softly, "Patience." "The truth always finds its way," she said as she abruptly ended the stream. No explanation, no follow-up, nothing. From that point on, social media went crazy. People claimed that Candace was sitting on screenshots, handwritten notes, possibly even entire pages from Charlie's personal diary, things that the world had never seen. No one really knew what she was holding, but everyone agreed that something huge was about to drop if Candace spoke again. Then, just when nobody thought it could get any crazier, Candace mentioned the diary. Candace insisted that once the note was made public, people would view the entire situation in a completely different light. Some critics accused her of stirring drama for views, but the majority believed she was holding on to a crucial piece of evidence. Possibly even the missing puzzle piece everyone had been searching for. News channels and podcasts immediately jumped on it with headlines like, "Candace Owens claims to have Charlie Kirk's personal notes." Within hours, the clip was everywhere. As usual, it was Candace's next moment that really stopped the internet was when Candace revealed that Charlie had expressed feelings of loneliness, paranoia, even as if someone close to him was hiding something in his private writings. He felt watched, uneasy, and unsure of who was truly on his side. Candace didn't share the entire page, just a cropped, blurred fragment of the handwriting. But it was enough to send shivers down people's spines. Within hours, the blurred image spread everywhere, fueling endless debates, breakdowns, and theories. One little note had turned into a worldwide mystery, and it was obvious that the story was far from over. Every platform, including Reddit, TikTok, and X, was completely overrun with discussions, theories, and self-proclaimed investigators who claimed to have solved the case. The internet was buzzing with one eerie question. Was Charlie trying to leave a hidden message? Was it a warning that no one caught in time while he was still here? Naturally, everyone's attention to his widow. That uncertainty became the perfect storm. Everyone was talking about Candace Owens, regardless of which side they were on, and everyone was fixated on Charlie's enigmatic notes. This was the spark that ignited an internet wildfire that was waiting to happen. One side saw Candace Owens as exposing something huge, a real cover-up that mainstream media wouldn't dare touch. And they saw her as fearless, saying the things everyone else was too afraid to say. The other side pushed back just as hard, calling her manipulative, accusing Charlie's name to create chaos and gain attention. In less than a day, headlines such as "The Secret Truth," "Charlie Kirk's Last Message," and "Who Couldn't He Trust?" Some amateur analysts claimed Charlie's handwriting had changed, slanting slightly to the left, which they claimed showed signs of fear, stress, and deep distrust. Reddit threads exploded at record speed, gaining hundreds of thousands of comments overnight. People were zooming into every blurry screenshot, comparing pen strokes, and debating what each word could mean. Claimed that the note contained hidden initials tucked between lines or tiny repeating symbols that appeared to be coded signals, meant for someone close to Charlie. The theories grew more bizarre by the minute, and a new wave of digital detectives joined in on TikTok, creating thousands of videos using handwriting recognition tools and software overlays in an attempt to prove that the note was actually written by Charlie himself. Every hour brought a new discovery, a new hidden clue, and a new conspiracy twist that sent fans spiraling even deeper. The mystery had taken over the internet, and it didn't appear to be slowing down message completely. Others insisted that there were several versions circulating, each trimmed differently. So the public only saw the lines that supported a particular plot line. Meanwhile, independent commentators on YouTube and various podcasts jumped in with hot takes about the power of withholding information. Some dismissed it as a coincidence, while others claimed Charlie wrote those lines as a nudge, a mental tap on the shoulder that wasn't meant to be missed. The more people examined it, the deeper the spiral got. Doubt on top of doubt until the mystery seemed unsolvable. But that didn't stop anything because the fog, self, kept the story alive. By this point, the buzz surrounding Charlie Kirk's final words was more than just a rumor. It was culture, a whole ecosystem of theories feeding each other in real time. Everyone had their version of the truth, and nobody was letting go of their angle without a fight, at least an algorithmic one. Reporters reached out to Candace for confirmation, and she gave the same cool reply: "Time will tell." That one line made people even more curious. As if she had purposefully slid a key back into her pocket, TikTok did what TikTok does: zoom, slow, enhance, repeat. As creators analyzed every frame from Candace's live, attempting to read blurred lines on a sheet they claimed came from Charlie's diary. Some claimed to have seen words like plan or timing, then spun theories that the note questioned how quickly the widow entered his space after everything unfolded. So quickly that it raised new questions on its own. However, that was only half the chatter, because others claimed the wording pointed beyond the personal. Perhaps a political angle or a quiet project Charlie once teased but never launched. In the meantime, Joe Rogan's devoted fan base was certain that everything Candace Owens said aligned perfectly with what Rogan had hinted at. In his podcast, the message was clear to them. The official version of events didn't fully match reality. However, just when the buzz seemed to be waning, Elon Musk jumped back into the mix. And that's when things went completely off the rails. He didn't post a thread, didn't go on a rant. He simply liked a few posts that said Charlie knew something he couldn't say. In a matter of minutes, every platform was ablaze with theories, screenshots, and conjecture regarding the true meaning of Elon's likes. At this point, the conversation had evolved from belief to entertainment, obsession, and investigation, all rolled into one. From curious TikTok users and small podcast hosts to major YouTubers and political commentators. Everyone wanted a piece of it, each claiming to hold their own version of the truth, turning the entire situation into an expanding digital universe of speculation and intrigue. Just when it seemed like things could get any wilder, Candace seeded it once again, hosting what appeared to be a harmless live Q&A session until a viewer asked, "Do you think Charlie's widow knows more than she's admitting?" Candace just sat there in silence for a few long, nerve-wracking seconds before leaning forward, grinning slightly, and saying, "Let's just say he wrote about trust for a reason." As the entire chat froze and the comments stopped scrolling, she immediately stopped the stream after that. There was a silent wave, no explanation, no follow-up, and the screen turned black. The terrible hush became instantly recognizable. That 5-second film went viral in a matter of minutes. Replays in the millions, thousands of slow-motion analyses, and many arguments. While some viewers thought she was directly confirming the claims, others claimed she was masterfully manipulating the audience by dropping clues to maintain interest. In any case, everything was flawless. Social media had completely collapsed by the following morning. Timelines were overflowing with new hashtags. Dare Charlie's journal. Number sign. What did she know about the number sign? Additionally, trust notes and number signs are popular all across the world. Twitter, or X, turned into a battleground of interpretations, each more dramatic than the previous. Elon liked another post just when you thought he was done stirring things up. It was a meme at the time. Easy but cool. Crumbs are always left behind by the truth. The entire internet community was rocked by that one action once more. Some felt that Elon was discussing Candace. He is aware. While others retaliated. All of this is merely a publicity gimmick. Something new started to emerge between those two groups, believers and doubters. A common fascination with the mystery itself, not simply with Charlie, Candace, or Elon. Millions of people are kept up at night by this kind of mystery, searching for hints that may not even exist. Joe Rogan said nothing at all. No answer, no declaration, no nuanced tweet, nothing. And for some reason, the impact of that quiet was greater than any possible explanation. People began whispering more and more as he remained silent. Perhaps Rogan, Musk, and Candace were conducting a live experiment on the entire internet as part of a covert media triangle. Videos of Candace uttering her terrifying statement about trust became viral on TikTok. Some people focused on her eyes, believing they saw the expression of someone with more knowledge than she was expressing. Others asserted that she was reading from a script and that the entire event was expertly planned to produce one of the year's biggest online sensations. However, the truth was evident regardless of one's stance. The narrative of the enigmatic trust journal. Furthermore, what Charlie Kirk might have learned had already developed into something far more significant than rumors. It had grown to be a worldwide fascination, a contemporary enigma that would not go away. The internet is currently stuck in a holding pattern, waiting for Rogan to eventually break the quiet, for Elon to post another cryptic clue, and for Candace to publish the entire journal. However, the longer people wait, the more they become entangled in this never-ending web of suspicions, speculations, and hazy reality. The distinction between pure conviction, skepticism, and truth has entirely disappeared. Silence has emerged as the most potent weapon in a world when a single tweet can spark a movement. The tale of one indisputable fact about the modern digital world is demonstrated by Candace Owens, Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, and the Charlie Kirk diaries. Truth itself is now decided by speed rather than proof. People tend to believe the first version they see. A silent peek in a live stream, a brief, like a small comment. A storm that circles the world in a few of minutes can be caused by any of those. The craziest aspect is that there is no longer any reason to conceal the truth. Confusion alone has the power to erase the truth in a world full of conflicting voices. It serves as a reminder to think things through before sharing, to ask questions before believing, and to do more research before joining the fray. Because at a time when turmoil spreads more quickly than in actuality, silence does not equate to surrender. It's a tactic. Furthermore, not all viral content is genuine. However, not all genuine content has the opportunity to go viral. Subscribe to Flow Fame if you want to continue learning about the untold tales, behind-the-scenes secrets, and subtle power struggles rocking the internet. Decode the noise instead than merely scrolling over it. Stay tuned, like, comment, and share, because the following story might completely alter the narrative. I'll see you at the next.